Have you ever wondered what it would be like to walk through a beautiful, green garden right in the middle of a hot, dry desert? Imagine being surrounded by colorful flowers, tall trees, and the sound of waterfalls. Can you picture it? What if I told you that such a place actually existed thousands of years ago? This place was called the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens are one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and they have fascinated people for centuries. But how were they built? Why did they disappear? And could we ever find them again? What kind of plants and trees grew there? How did they manage to water such lush gardens in the middle of a desert? These questions spark our curiosity and take us on a journey back in time. Join us at Third Rock Matters as we dive into the mystery of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. We will uncover their origins, the incredible engineering behind them, the types of plants that fill these gardens, and the lasting legacy of this ancient wonder. Get ready to be amazed by the creativity and ingenuity of the people who created this paradise in the desert. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon are said to have been built by King Nebuchadnezzar II around 600 BC. According to legend, he built these gardens for his wife, Amytis. She missed the green hills and valleys of her homeland, which was far away. So, King Nebuchadnezzar decided to create a lush, green paradise for her right in the heart of Babylon, which is in modern-day Iraq. But how did they manage to build such an amazing garden in a desert? The gardens were built on a series of terraces, which looked like steps going up a mountain. These terraces were made of large stone blocks, and each level was covered with soil to grow plants. Engineers used a special technique to keep the soil in place and to make sure the plants had enough water. They layered reed mats, asphalt, and tiles to help hold the soil and keep it from drying out. This way, they could grow all kinds of plants and trees on each terrace. Can you imagine the hard work and creativity it took to transform a desert into a green oasis? Building the gardens wasn't easy. It required a lot of planning and hard work. The builders had to make sure the terraces were strong enough to hold the weight of the soil and plants. They also had to find a way to bring water to the gardens. They used bricks and stones to build the terraces and lined them with layers of reeds and asphalt to keep the soil from washing away. This made the gardens look like they were hanging in the air, which is why they are called the Hanging Gardens. One of the most incredible things about the Hanging Gardens was how they kept all the plants watered in such a dry place. In Babylon's hot climate, it was a big challenge to make sure the gardens had enough water. But the engineers came up with a clever solution. They built an advanced irrigation system that brought water from the nearby Euphrates River to the gardens. How did they do it? They used a system of pumps, chains, and buckets to lift water from the river up to the highest terraces. From there, the water flowed down to the lower levels, creating beautiful waterfalls. This not only kept the plants hydrated, but also made the gardens even more stunning. Imagine walking through the gardens and hearing the sound of water trickling down, feeling the cool mist on your face. The clever use of technology to water the gardens was truly amazing. The irrigation system was a marvel of ancient engineering. It is believed that they used a device called a chain pump. This pump had 2 large wheels connected by a chain. Buckets were attached to the chain, and as the wheels turned, the buckets would dip into the river, fill with water, and then be lifted up to the top of the gardens. The water would then flow down through a series of channels, watering each level of the gardens. This system allowed the gardens to flourish, even in the hot, dry climate of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens were filled with all kinds of plants and trees. Picture vibrant flowers in every color, tall trees providing shade, and fragrant herbs filling the air with their sweet smells. The gardens were designed to look like a natural landscape, with paths winding through the greenery. What kind of plants did they have? The gardens had many types of plants, including fruit trees, flowers, and shrubs. Some plants were used for food, like figs and dates, while others were just for their beauty, like roses and lilies. The layout of the gardens was carefully planned to make the most of the space and to create a peaceful and beautiful environment. Walking through these gardens would have been like stepping into a different world, far away from the dry, sandy desert. Imagine walking through these gardens, seeing pomegranate trees with the bright red fruit, smelling the sweet fragrance of jasmine flowers, and listening to the rustling leaves of palm trees. The gardens were a feast for the senses. They were not only a place of beauty, but also a source of food and medicinal plants. The carefully designed layout made the most of the space, creating a lush, green paradise in the middle of the desert. Even though the hanging gardens are famous, there are still many mysteries about them. We haven't found any remains of the gardens, and most of what we know comes from ancient writings. Some historians even wonder if the gardens were real or just a myth. What do you think? Could such an incredible garden really have been built in ancient times? Despite these questions, the legend of the hanging gardens has lasted for centuries. They remind us of the amazing things ancient civilizations could do, even in difficult environments. The story of the gardens shows us how creative and resourceful people were in the past, turning a desert into a beautiful paradise. The mystery of the hanging gardens continues to capture our imaginations, making us wonder what other secrets the ancient world might hold. The mystery of the hanging gardens deepens when we consider that no archaeological evidence of the gardens has ever been found in Babylon. Some scholars believe that the gardens might have been located in another city, like Nineveh. Others think that the gardens were purely a work of fiction, created by ancient writers to describe a paradise on earth. Despite these mysteries, the legend of the hanging gardens has inspired countless stories, paintings, and even modern-day gardens. We hope you've enjoyed this journey through the hanging gardens of Babylon. This ancient wonder reminds us of the creativity and ingenuity of our ancestors. The gardens show us that even in harsh environments, with the right knowledge and technology, we can create beauty and life. If you found this video fascinating, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next video in this series, The 7 Wonders of the Ancient World. In our next video, we'll explore another captivating topic that will open your mind to the wonders and mysteries of our amazing planet. Stay tuned, and keep your curiosity alive.